My name is Dale Freed. I'm the CEO of 3DEO Incorporated. That's a company that I started last summer, July of 2014. And it's a spin out from MIT Lincoln Laboratory. The idea is to harvest or commercialize some of the technology that has been developed there over quite a long time, 10 to 15, 20 years, by the Department of Defense for defense applications. The idea is to bring it into the commercial market and open it up to be accessible to many, many more people and markets. The core of the technology is what's called Geiger mode avalanche photodiode arrays. Lots of jargon. The basic idea is we can detect single photons one at a time. We can timestamp those individual photons to within, say, half a nanosecond or so. And that means we can do a range measurement. If we send out a laser pulse and measure the time it takes for that pulse to go out, reflect off something and come back to us, we can measure the range to that surface. So that's standard. People have done that for a long time. The new thing here is that MIT Lincoln Laboratory, under DoD funding, has developed these very sensitive devices and made them into large arrays. So now there's kind of two main things about the technology that are differentiators. The first one is that we're very sensitive. We're detecting single photons, and it turns out it's very cool. With only about 5 to 10 photons detected on average, I can very reliably do a range measurement to some object somewhere. So I don't need very much light as compared to competing technologies that maybe require thousands of photons. The second thing that's a huge differentiator and gets me really excited about this is I have a whole array of these detectors. It's kind of like in your camera where you have a focal plane or a sensor array. Now I have thousands of detectors that are simultaneously doing all these range measurements. And then I can frame that tens, hundreds of thousands of times per second. So at the end of the day, what I end up with is an ability to do 3D measurements, make these 3D point clouds that are incredibly dense and detailed, and I can do that very rapidly. If you compare the rate at which, one figure of merit is the rate at which you can do these measurements, these 3D measurements. If you compare that rate to any existing commercial sensor, we're talking about factors of 10 or more faster, and also at much longer ranges, because we only need a few photons. You can be much further away, and you still, after you pulse your laser off of some surface, you still get enough light coming back to do a good range measurement. Now, if you think about it, of course that makes sense for the DoD to be interested in, because they want to go in, do their measurement, get the heck out, right? Fly your airplane in, make a map or whatever, and leave as quickly as possible. Well, it turns out time is money in the commercial market, and so we also, in commercial applications, would like to be able to do these measurements rapidly as well. And so you can cut down costs substantially by going faster. That's the basic technology: speed and sensitivity.